Hello, welcome to It Ain't New, the show that represents the history of ethnic minority groups in the USA and where knowledge becomes power. If you don't know, now you know. We're Nyke,
Bella,
Estar.
your very real hosts.
So our last episode was on a pretty deep topic that's really important to the three of us, which was protest. This episode is on another topic that's near and dear to us. Dibby. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I'll do it.
Do it.
Dibby. My name is Minho.
We're talking K-pop. It's my honor as the Nuna who's been listening to K-pop the longest to welcome you all to this particular episode where we're going to introduce some of our favorite K-pop songs from first, second, and then third generation. This is not a ranked list. That was your only warning.
Whee!
Yeah. So the questions we're going to be going through are why this artist for this generation of idol K-pop, and if you don't know what that means, go do your homework. How does this song define this artist in this generation? And then how does this song make you feel?
All right, so teacher. I chose Boa's number one.
Because it's number one.
Right.
Numero uno. You're still my number one. But I chose, okay, so why this artist for this generation? Boa, to me, is symbolic of K-pop. She was one of the very first K-pop idols and singers, and really an artist for me as like a young kid to like know, which is actually very embarrassing for me to say this. I always thought she was Japanese until I was like in 9th grade.
Not an uncommon thought.
Right.
Yeah, because she released so many Japanese works and she was so much more well known for a time for her Japanese songs. Number one was actually, I think, one of the first songs that I heard that I didn't realize was actually a Korean song. There are many of these, and especially when I go back into the Mando pop stuff, so many of them come up. But she to me is like, that is who I want to be as a mentor, and like that is who I strive to be, right? But as an artist, like I am so glad that she's still putting stuff out. It might not be as the same amount as like these new groups, but like she's doing so much stuff.
This is why I still have beef with SM. When they came out with what was supposed to be the girl version of Super M, and they put her in there, but everyone's kind of like looking at the baby.
Why should she be
all
there?
That. I'm like, dude, the babies recognize that this is Boa.
Yeah,
Like
this is not just like Onni status. Like this is like this is legend.
I am not
Sensei?
worthy.
Sensei
yeah, like
status?
I am not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something name status?
I am not worthy.
Right? Like this is, and she'll be humble enough to be like, no, it's fine. But for me, like Boa number one is just, it defines K-pop not just for that generation. It really kind of set up what to expect from K-pop. How does this song define this particular artist in the first gen?
It's in the title.
Yeah.
No one has ever been able to knock Boa off of number one. Come on now.
I feel like in the 20 years since it's been released,
20 plus years.
oh yeah. Oh, oof.
Right.
Oof.
And mind you, like, and this is what people don't notice too. They think Boa is old.
Boa released this song when she was like 13.
Right. Boa, we talk about minors in K-pop now. Like, that was literally
Yo,
Boa.
remember though, there is seemingly no child labor law when it comes
Yes.
to K-pop.
Well, they're about to put one in there if people have been paying attention to the news. Well, I pay attention to the Korean news because I'm going to be moving there soon. But no.
But again, like Boa number one, like she was 13 when this song came out. She was
What
talking
a
about-
flex!
right? She's like talking about like, hey, y'all talking about all your K-pop idols going to Japan. Like I had to go solo. I had to move over. I was literally, I was just like, she sounds like she's in the foster care system.
Well, I mean,
Kinda
that's kind of
was.
how they treat it.
Right?
That's literally how they treat
Yeah,
it.
and now they're like, oh, you're gonna learn Japanese before you go. We're gonna teach you the culture before you go, so you don't make any like accident, like you don't disrespect somebody by accident.
But this is a part of the entire training system. When people also look back at Motown, this is exactly what it was about. We want you to be out there, not just as representations of us, but even representation of yourself, but it has to be clean. Yeah. It has to fit a certain...
And Boa was the first one to go solo at such a young age. I'm going to wrap it up with this. How does this song make me feel? It can take me from I'm having a really shitty day to like, you know what? She's fucking right. I'm number one. So yeah, Boa's number one. I kind of feel like if I'm introducing someone to K-pop, I have to introduce them to Boa.
That's a good thing. That's actually a good thing because I feel like people even now they have no context of K-pop
or what K-pop these days came from.
Right. They don't know. I mean, people still think that these people have been like chopped out of the sky.
But that said,
they didn't just show up out of nowhere. They're not aliens.
But that said, Boa might have been number one, but our next song.
Oh man. So for my first gen group, I chose H.O.T. And the song I chose is We Are the Future.
I'm kind of shocked you didn't choose Candy.
So I have a reason for that. I have a personal reason for that.
Okay,
so why this artist for this generation? H.O.T, first male idol group out of SM, already historic in that they're literally the first generation of idol groups. And so all of you fans out there, Candy is not an NCT song. It is an H.O.T song.
No, it's not. It's H.O.T.
But
Sorry.
the reason why I didn't choose Candy is because We Are the Future was a song that I taught in high school to a mixed group of my friends. So not just Asian, but a mixed group of my friends. I taught it to them and they performed it at our school talent show.
Oh, yay.
And they all loved it. Like this was not, this was again, like a mixed group of my peers. And this song came out of nowhere. And remember, we didn't even have like a YouTube at this point, right? And so I'm showing them these like video cassette tapes of their music show performances. And then we're listening to this track on CDs. I went through, no joke, like 6 CDs because we just ran it so many times to like practice and things. We scratched up the CD like that many times. I had like multiple copies of this CD. And so I will always remember it because even years later, when I would see some of these people, they still remembered the dance and how it made them feel. We did costumes. Like, if you guys don't know, like the costuming for We Are the Future, especially in terms of like jewelry and hair and kind of like these men's like pantsuits, you know, it was just like, I still remember that. And my friends now, 30 years later, still remember that too. Like what an impact for that. Like some of them may never have had any more connection with K-pop, but they remember a K-pop song I taught them in like 96 from this group. And so We Are the Future definitely holds a really special place in my heart. And also that intro is iconic.
It is though.
You play like 3 seconds of it and I'm just like, I'm all in, you know? So that's why I feel like, that's why I didn't choose Candy. Because I just had that's
a very good reason.
I had a personal connection to this song. And yeah, this song makes me feel great. Like I said, play any bit of it and I'm already all the way in, you know?
I love it. Yeah. So for me, I had to choose. Hilariously, they're not like my first love because I kind of came into K-pop around like, I want to say technically 1.5 going into 2.
Okay.
Which is a whole thing in itself. But I went back because I knew there were other people before. So I went back and I discovered g.o.d. Love these dudes. Like even to this day, I still love them.
Did I ever tell you I met them? I was living in New York at that time, and when they did that one tour, remember? I got to go,
like really getting
I got to
excited
go
right now.
backstage. I met all of them. I shook their hands, and I have a picture because I'm not a take pictures with famous people person, but my sister totally is
We have to get this on camera.
So I have a picture of g.o.d with my sister and my brother-in-law backstage at that g.o.d concert in New Jersey all that time ago.
Purota. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe I've never told you this story before.
I love g.o.d. Like, they have a special place in my heart too. I mean,
they have a special
also
place in the nation's heart.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
The nation's idol group, right?
Yes, and I think another reason why it's a little easier to pick groups from first gen, because I mean there were a lot of them, but some of them obviously just like stood out. One of the reasons why I picked g.o.d, and especially this song, I'll say it in Korean and then I'll say the translation. So 하늘색 풍선, and then it means sky blue balloon. It's actually like a literal translation. The reason why I picked this artist for first gen is, I mean, not only because they were active in first gen and kind of defining things,
we didn't break anything. We're all good.
Yes. This was also one of like the first groups where you're kind of also seeing like the hard stuff with them. So like how they're navigating being, especially with so many actually Korean American members,
right,
like how they're navigating
living together as a team,
living together,
agency
being in
not
Korea,
having enough money,
exactly, actually producing music. Like when people say K-pop idols like didn't produce music until like second, third gen, that's not the case. But it just depended on where you were coming from and like what agency you were with and all that. But yeah, literally seeing them like go through all of that and still, doing music obviously and still succeeding in doing that. This song also kind of like defines that. And it's so funny because in this song, it's not necessarily late in their career. It's actually kind of like mid career for them. Yeah. But this song is legit a party song. It's a travel song. It's a I just want to feel good type of song.
It's also a fan song.
Yeah. It's also a fan song. And literally in this song, it's like they're talking about like, oh, like, we're getting older. Like, do we need to go on like they're naming even shows that are or that were popular like in Korea at the time. And it's literally great. I love this. Every time this song comes on, I get so excited. And I actually first, even though I knew about the song, I didn't really start to love the song until I watched Roommate. Because Junyoung was on Roommate,
him and Jackson.
And yes, and that's like, and seeing that's honestly one of my favorite variety shows. But when he was on that show and they played this song, I loved how literally each and every one of them, including the older, like even though they were actors, like the older actors and stuff, they were like, this song was like my childhood, or this song was this, and they gave him the respect that he was due. Like they did not just be like, oh yeah, remember that. No, they put this song on and it was like everybody's partying. It was so good.
So you were talking earlier about how g.o.d was like one of the first to like talk about the hard stuff. You actually made me think of, I think their song called Mother.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's literally all of Koreans.
Yeah.
That's their debut song.
All of Korea still loves that song.
And like
still cries at that song too.
Yeah.
I still cry at that song.
I feel like g.o.d has been like the king of like, hey, let's make our fans cry. For the artists that we've like, but like it's like for all the artists that we've listed, I'm like, I will probably cry at g.o.d songs.
Oh no, you definitely will. Yeah. They were more the thing is, like into real stuff too, but because
and the thing is
stuff.
Like, it's not about, oh, do you understand the lyrics? It's literally the way that it's being expressed. Yeah. Because you don't have to understand the lyrics to be like, hey, I like this song. It's really like, especially in K-pop where it is so visual, it's about everything that goes into it, right? Like the tone of the singing, the rhythms, the R&B influence. Hey, we're gonna make sure that the colors that we're using represent something. They're symbolic of something. And when you know it, it's like, oh, that hurts, but it hurts so good.
I've got the concert DVD, guys.
So you're gonna be letting me borrow that.
Yes, like oh, so disrespectfully.
I was gonna say steal, but it's okay.
It was my birthday present to myself like a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
It was in the clearance rack at Music Choice for $15.
I'm so upset right now. But this is the only reason why I go to
DVD
either
concert. So yeah, I snagged that beautiful album. So maybe we'll do a like an episode walkthrough. We'll watch it together, like a watch party.
I'm gonna be like box of tissues for each person.
Oh, for sure. I cried at the g.o.d concert like 2015.
Okay. Well, that was our first gen picks. I'm hoping that everyone who has stuck with us so far,
or even call themselves a K-pop fan. Like literally a K-pop fan, not necessarily you're choosing one group, whatever. I mean, an actual K-pop fan. You should know these people at least. Even if you don't know the song, you should know these people.
And if you don't know,
go
now
down,
you know.
Go down that YouTube rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, they definitely have these
on YouTube.
A lot of these videos.
Well, the question
YouTube,
is more: is it clear or
and
is it grainy?
don't be afraid of the 144p.
Oh, like that's probably what you're gonna get if it's gonna be like really, really.
Hey, no, didn't SM started going through remastering some of their.
Yes, I recently watched the SES ones.
Yeah,
I'm like g.o.d wasn't SM.
No, that was JYP. What was like? Were they on JYP at this time?
They were
because they called out JYP.
They debuted.
They were on
JYP,
JYP, which is the reason why GOT7 was called GOT7 too, because it was GOT as in g.o.d and JYP.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening to It Ain't New, where if you don't know, now you know. We're Nyke,
Bella,
Estar.
Please show us some love on Spotify by leaving us a rating or a review, and join our Patreon so we can grow and continue to give you all wonderful content.